U.S. Senator Ron Wyden has introduced legislation aimed at restoring national forests in eastern Oregon and creating jobs. I'm Steve Coffey. Senator Wyden told a teleconference that his bill brings together both Oregon timber groups and conservation groups in a coalition of support.
I believe now we've been able to pull together a significant coalition of folks in the timber industry and folks in the environmental community who are committed to taking steps to get saw logs to the mills, do it quickly so that we can get some economic lifeblood and jobs flow into rural communities, and also get the coalition behind practical steps that will protect, Oregon treasures.
The bill is the Oregon East Side Forest Restoration, Old Growth Protection and Jobs Act.
We're telling the Forest Service it's got 3 years to get this landscape level program going. I'm going to use my chairmanship of the forestry subcommittee, do everything I can, hands-on, oversight to get the Forest Service to meet the timeline. Focus is going to be on getting merchantable material to the mills, saw logs, because we desperately need more jobs in rural Oregon. And we're also taking steps immediately to make sure that we protect our treasures as well. What this is all about is showing that restoration work brings all sides together. We're taking steps to eliminate some of the appeals in the short term, streamline the process in the future. We'd have, in effect, a new objection process in the future. What we've had in our state for too long is timber folks and environmental folks just go out and arm themselves to the teeth, and they can survive politically, but nobody ever gets to succeed because it seems like we just end up suing the dickens out of each other. And the negative impact of this battle has taken a huge toll on Oregon's east side forests, and I think we had some of the best and most committed people in natural resources, not just in Oregon, but in the country, come together, and now we're in a position, in my view, to make a real difference. The goal is to double the amount of acres treated next year, triple it within, in effect, 3 years, and make a real difference both in terms of the rural economy and protecting our treasures.
Wyden's legislation promotes active management of 8.3 million acres of the 6 national forests on the east side of the Oregon Cascades. He said his legislation will dovetail with the Healthy Forest Restoration Act introduced by Congressman Greg Walden and Kurt Schrader in the U.S. House.
It's my desire to work very closely with the two of them. What I can say is we went through many months of negotiations in order to get the industry and the environmental folks together. I was told this morning a lot of those folks are going to be off meeting with the entire delegation in their offices, including Congressman Walden and Congressman Schrader, both of whom long history of working on these issues, and this is going to be my highest priority for rural Oregon, and I'm going to work very closely with Congressman Walden and Congressman Schrader.
Wyden says his bill only applies to federal lands, but the restoration projects will benefit adjacent private and state lands as well. He said this act would add $50 million to the Forest Service budget over the next 3 years. He said there is no better way to restore our forests and jobs in some of the hardest hit counties than to increase the Forest Service budget for restoration projects.
I can't pluck a number of jobs out of the air this afternoon. Obviously, the timber industry feels that this would make a real difference. That's why they entered into this agreement, and clearly what we've been concerned about is that if you don't move now, if you don't move to protect the infrastructure of Oregon's wood products, a sector, when they're down to just a handful of small mills, we're going to lose it completely.
Wyden is expecting the bill to be passed by both the Senate and the House and be on the President's desk next year. I'm Steve Coffey. Take 5 is a presentation of 1110 KBND Radio News. Depend on us.